I lost 88 pounds taking a GLP-1. And if you saw my before and after pictures, you will probably look at me and say, girl, that medication worked. And you are right, it did. But those pictures do not tell the whole story, because there was some good, some bad, and there definitely was some ugly. I'm talking about things that I wasn't prepared for when I took my first injection. And surprisingly, some of the hardest parts weren't things that happened when I started my journey. They happened after I lost a significant amount of weight. So if you're taking a GLP-1, or you're thinking about starting a GLP-1, or you're somewhere in the middle of your journey wondering, is this normal? Well, come on in, because I am going to talk about it today. After losing 88 pounds, I have some things to tell you and show you. So let's start with the good. I lost 88 pounds. This is the first time that I felt like I had a tool to support me on a weight loss journey or any kind of a health journey. Before starting the GLP-1, I had tried all sorts of diets, and I would end up starting again on Monday, losing weight, gaining it back, losing weight. And I would tell myself the same thing. This time is going to be different. This time I'm going to lose the weight. What I have learned is that it wasn't about willpower. It was about my biology and the fact that I have the disease of obesity. So no matter how many great attempts I tried, it was never going to be in my cards to lose the weight, and not just lose the weight, because I've lost weight before, but actually keep it off. When I started taking the GLP-1, honestly, something felt different. For the first time, I felt like I had a tool that was actually working with me instead of working against my body and fighting me along the way. My appetite changed and my hunger changed. Honestly, one of the biggest things that I noticed was that the food noise was gone, that constant chatter that you hear. I am so grateful, because for so many periods during this journey, that food noise quieted way down, and at times it was altogether just gone. It disappeared. Unless you've experienced food noise, it's hard to understand the feeling, but I'm telling you, it's a great one. So now let me share with you some great health improvements beyond the scale. The first thing is my A1C. I am taking Mounjaro because I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. My A1C was at a 7.6%. As of my last blood work, my A1C was a 5.6%, which puts me in the normal range. I am ecstatic about that. So cheers to me. The next thing I will say to you, which is a great accomplishment, is having my blood pressure go down. And I'm going to tell you, I want to get this right. My blood pressure at the highest it had been was at a 156 over 101. It's hovered somewhere in the upper 130s and then the 140s. I never was on blood pressure medication, but it was recommended that I take it. I thought to myself, I can do this. I could get this blood pressure down. And until the GLP-1, I had not been able to do that. So I am grateful and thankful that I pushed past my fears of taking that first injection and decided to take a chance on me and improving my health. I just want to tell you right here, nothing in this video is medical advice. I would definitely talk to your doctor about getting lab work done so you can have a nice baseline, so you can see how you're improving when that scale is not moving. Some of these other things happening in the background is really going to motivate you to continue on, even when the scale gets stuck. So just remember that. Let's talk about the clothes of it all. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to tell you, I am a girly girl. I like to dress up. I like to look nice. I like to try on different things. But even though I was a bigger girl, I would love to consider myself fashionable. During my highest weight, I had gotten up to a 3X. But most of the time, I hovered around a 2X. Once I was in a 22 and a 24, and that started to fit a little bit too tight, I thought, I got to do something about this. So those clothes are a great gauge. Now, after losing 80 plus pounds, I am sitting pretty in a size 14, 16. Now, I'm going to tell you, I wear my clothes on the bigger side. I'm not a girl, as you can tell, who likes a tight fit. At the top, the bottom, I don't mind so much. So I probably could fit a 14. I am wearing a size extra large, yay, but I also can fit large sizes as well. So I'm giving myself some applause for that. Another good thing about my GLP-1 journey is I am feeling so much more in control about what I am eating and when I am eating it. I try not to eat past 7:30 every day. Now, some days when I'm out and about and get home late, that's tough to do. But for the most part, on my journey, I cut off my eating at 7:30. I do that because I want to go to bed feeling like I'm giving my body a chance to really digest my food. There are times in my journey when my daughter had her snacks out or I was packing her lunch or snacks were sitting there. I would walk past those snacks and I'd want to eat them, not think about them. It just wasn't something I was interested in. Well, over time, my body has gotten used to the medication. And now I walk past my daughter's snacks or see some snacks sitting around the house and I'm thinking, I really have to make a conscious choice not to partake and eat the snack. So you might be thinking, well, you need to go up on a dose. Well, I'm at the highest dose. I said the medication was a tool. So now it is also me making those healthy choices. And some days I make it. And honestly, lately it's been tougher, but that's okay. We're going to get through it. Another great thing about this journey is the non-scale victories of it all. I can list them. I have so many non-scale victories. If you've been following me on my channel, you know crossing my legs has always been a thing for me. Having more energy to run around with my daughter, running up and down stairs, just feeling lighter, walking around the world lighter, feeling like I don't have to squeeze into places I could just walk through. That's just such a great feeling. So I'm going to put up a video. I've made several videos about these non-scale victories and how we have to celebrate those. I am a firm believer in celebrating things beyond the scale because there's so many victories you may have before you reach that desired goal weight. And I'm here to remind you to celebrate those. But I did want to share something I use to give me a little bit of pep in my step. If you come to my live streams, you know I am full of energy, full of excitement, ready to go. And one of the things that helps me with that is this B12. So I'm going to say again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to go out and get a supplement. I'm just telling you what works for me. And I use this Garden of Life. It's an organic B12 and it's a spray. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. And it just gives me a little pep in my step. I spray it twice and keep it moving. I've also gotten 2 DEXA scans during the time I've been taking the GLP-1, and mainly because I wanted to see, am I losing a lot of muscle? I had 2 last year, and one of the great things about both of those DEXA scans was my bone density, which is your T-score. My bone density was at a 3.3 and a 3.4. Which is great. So let's talk about the lean mass, the muscle retention of it all. The first time I got a DEXA scan, my lean mass was 111 pounds. The second time I got a DEXA scan, my lean mass was 109 pounds. Now I'm going to tell you, it's normal when you're losing weight that you will lose a little bit of muscle. The goal is to build muscle. You don't want to continue to do that. One of the things we want to do on this journey is we want to gain muscle and lose fat. My visceral fat when I took my first DEXA scan was 3.13. My second DEXA scan, it was 2.66. So it did go down. I did lose some visceral fat and I was so excited about that. And so are the DEXA Fit people. If you want more details about the DEXA scan and my results with the 2 that I took, check out those videos. So it is possible to be on a GLP-1 and not lose all your muscle and retain your muscle mass. I know some people who've even gained muscle and also lost fat. I just want you to know that the scale is not the only place where weight loss shows up. It shows up in your face. It shows up in your clothes. It shows up in your energy. It shows up in what you're physically able to do. And it's showing up in how I take care of myself. And those non-scale victories are also very important. But this is where I need to interrupt the celebration because somewhere along the way, I learned something that really surprised me. You can be incredibly grateful about the GLP-1, but you could also be frustrated with it at the exact same time. And that brings us to the bad. Weight loss did not happen every week. So if you're taking this GLP-1 medication and if you're expecting that every week you're going to lose weight, I'm here to tell you that may not happen. Here's another thing I wasn't prepared for. The way the medication worked for me in the beginning is not the way the medication worked for me later. So at the beginning, when I was on 2.5 and 5 and 7.5 up to 10, the medication was working great. And I am one who, as I've stayed on this medication for a longer time, I noticed the strength of it has gone down. So that's something you're going to have to take into consideration. I would definitely work with your doctor about titrating up and when to go up, but it's all individual. So whatever my experience is just that, my experience. Your body may react different. One of the things to remember is I have been diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. Research says for some diabetics, type 2 diabetics, that weight loss could be much slower. There were so many weeks when the scale just did not move. I had times where I thought I was doing everything right, and I thought, I'm supposed to be losing weight. Why am I not losing? So you're going to have that. If you've been on this medication and you are experiencing that, stop and give me a thumbs up, because that's the truth. So I'm going to say to you, during those times, you have to do what I'm doing, because I'm experiencing this right now, a stall in my weight loss. Stay patient and stay consistent. I would not do anything drastic. I had weeks where I was not losing. Weeks and months went by, and I just want you to be prepared for that, because that's something nobody really prepares you for. When we start this medication, we hear about how people have lost so fast, and they're down 70 pounds in 6 months or 50 pounds in 6 months. Well, that might not be everybody's story. That definitely has not been my story, and it is okay. Did you know that plateaus and stalls are a part of a normal weight loss journey? So now that you know that, stop beating yourself up about it. I had times where I felt like I was doing everything right, and I thought, am I supposed to be stuck like this? Shouldn't I be losing more weight? That's when your mind starts to play tricks with you, and you start questioning yourself. Has anybody ever experienced that? You were thinking, should I be eating less? Should I be exercising more? Isn't that where we came from before the GLP-1? I'm telling you this because I've been through it, and I have since learned not to do that, because my old thinking of, okay, I just need to diet and exercise more. We all know that that's something that is not going to work for you if you have the disease of obesity. So knowing that, I'm not going to beat myself up about that anymore. I'm just going to do what I tell everybody else to do. I'm going to stay patient. I'm going to stay consistent. And the things that I can do, the habits that I can build upon or reinforce, I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to let the medication continue to work with my body and not against it. So let's talk about the bad part for most people. They will tell you they're afraid of these side effects we hear about. And the ones that I have experienced, and I'm going to show you exactly what I have used that could be helpful to you. I want to encourage you to talk to your doctor or a healthcare professional before you use any supplements or take any advice from me, because everyone is different, but these things work for me. The fatigue of it all, that was one of the side effects that I'm still experiencing. I usually take my injection at night on a Sunday. That day has changed. You will find the day that works best for you. And that may actually change as well, since I'm newly retired. But when I take that injection, I'm tired the very next day, especially as I've gotten up higher in dose. Eventually, as my body gets used to the dose I'm on, it just kind of subsides. I'm experiencing that now, being on dose 15. What has helped me tremendously with that fatigue is electrolytes. And I'm going to tell you, I've tried almost every electrolyte out there. You can buy them in the single servings at Whole Foods. The one that's a staple in my house is Element. I just love Element. I just love the taste of it. I really only like the watermelon flavor. There is a link that always is in the description of my videos. If you want to try it out and get some free samples of Element, go to the description, scroll down near the bottom, you will see that Element link. If you are somebody who has high blood pressure, or if you're someone who has a difficult time with your blood pressure, I would definitely check with your doctor before you use electrolytes. When I first started my journey, I was getting muscle cramps because I was going to the restroom. I noticed a lot, and I thought, geez, oh man, I couldn't replace the water as fast as I was going. So that's what introduced me to the electrolytes and Element in particular. I'm going to tell you, it has worked. I've never, since the first day I took Element, I have never had a muscle cramp ever again. And I also learned how important it was to stay hydrated. I keep this with me all the time. So I am telling you that staying hydrated is so important on this journey, and a good electrolyte, I think, is going to go far for many people. Now, everyone can't handle an electrolyte, so don't get it. Another side effect that I had that is just so annoying is constipation, the constipation of it all. what I use to help me get through the constipation at times, and I didn't need it every day because I didn't have severe constipation. If I didn't go that second day, I would sometimes take Mango 7. And another thing I would use, because Mango 7 is a cleanse and you can't take it every day or every other day. So I also would use these psyllium husks. Another thing that works for me right now are Fiber Well gummies. And I was also given this tea to take. Now, I'm not a tea girl, not a tea-nista at all. But I hear this Smooth Move tea works. I have not tried that Smooth Move tea yet, but it's something I plan to try. Well, hopefully I won't even need to try it. I am someone who has not experienced a lot of nausea, getting sick, like I have to throw up. I attribute that to not eating the greasy, kind of oily food. So I have not really experienced that, but this medication reacts differently. There will be some people who don't eat that either, and then they still get sick. So it just depends. But this is what I've been told has worked. If I feel my stomach is a little unsettled, not sick, just feeling yucky, these ginger chews. If there are other things that work for you and I didn't mention in this video, just put it down in the comment section of the video. I'm sure people would love to have lots of tools in their tool belt. Some other things that I consider bad is trying to decide when to go up in dose. I have some videos about that. You might want to go check that out. Also, the medication feeling stronger at points and then getting weaker. Your body adjusts to the medication, which is why eventually you might end up on a higher dose, or it may have something to do with your side effects. So whatever your situation is, I would consider that a downside. Another bad side for me is having to eat so much protein. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have never been a protein girl. I've always been a carb girl, which just probably explains my weight, right? Because, we know that carbs can pack on pounds. Not all carbs are bad, so I don't want to vilify carbs. Carbs give us energy. There are a lot of other benefits to carbs, and they're a macro for a reason. So there's that. But I have struggled with that protein. Now, I'm going to tell you, my doctor and a dietitian told me to eat 80 grams of protein. You don't need to eat more. Now, when I visited DexaFit and got a DEXA scan, they told me to eat between 90 and 120 grams of protein, especially because I strength trained 3 days a week. And at that time, I was strength training at home, doing some home workouts. Now I'm going to a gym. Now, I'm going to tell you, come close. We hear this all the time. Eat more protein, eat more protein. The reason why you're eating more protein is because it does fill you up. Your body has to work harder to digest it. So it is helping with those things. But if you want to retain that muscle, you have to eat protein. Protein feeds the muscle and it's going to make that muscle stronger. So if you're eating a lot of protein, you also have to be lifting those weights and working those muscles, right? You actually have to use the muscle. You may be thinking like I was when I started. So I'm supposed to eat more protein, but yet my appetite is suppressed and I don't really want to eat that much. I'm going to tell you what I did was I learned to embrace protein shakes. I'm not someone who loves to drink anything milk-based. I'm not a big dairy person. I've learned to embrace it on this journey. So I drink Fairlife protein shakes. This one is 42 grams of protein. This one's more expensive. And this one is 30 grams of protein. This is the one I put in my coffee. It's not as expensive, and I just like the taste of it. I've also learned to embrace the protein bars. And my favorite protein bar, by far, I've tried a lot of different protein bars, but I like barbells. So I will show you the ones I eat. Now, salty peanut is not a favorite of mine. It has 20 grams of protein. I was also told this by my dietitian. A good protein bar should have 20 grams of protein or more. This other one is called cookies and cream. Now this one's pretty tasty. I like this one. This one also has 20 grams of protein. Now I have a couple of other ones that I have here because I bought a variety pack, and those have 16, which is still good. But if I'm going to go with a nice protein bar, I'm going to go with one that has 20 grams of protein. By the way, the peanut one has 3 grams of fiber, and the cookies and cream protein bar has 4 grams of fiber. You might be saying, Downsizing Diva, I want to make my own protein shake. So if you are someone who wants to make their own, I use this. This is called Orgain Organic Protein Boost Powdered Drink. It has 130 calories per serving, 21 is gluten-free. It has 3 grams of fiber and 21 grams of protein. Did I say that already? We got to get that protein in. So if that's a choice, I'm just telling you what I use. I'm not saying go out and buy what I use, but I know a lot of times when I'm watching people share things in a video, it's nice to see what they actually use. Another thing I have to tell you that I realized on this journey is that this medication is not going to solve everything. I realized that you have to put in work on this medication. And even if it does, there comes a point where it stops doing everything and you have to actually establish some habits to get your weight loss going. I always like to say this medication is a treatment, it's a tool. The best word I can use to describe it is a supplement to a healthy lifestyle. So again, I'm going to tell you to work with a doctor or a healthcare professional to come up with a plan that works for you. And you might be saying, my doctor didn't tell you all that. I said the same thing. I had to learn this as I'm going. So that's why I'm glad you're watching this video, because now you know, now you're armed with information. Take some of the things I'm saying, go to your doctor and say, what is my plan? What is my plan? What should I be doing as far as protein, as far as exercise, your macros, how much you should be eating, your calories. All those things are important. I don't think we're off to a running start yet with prepping people for those things. Now, you might have a doctor who did all those things. Shout out to you, because I don't really meet a lot of people who have that experience. So if you're one of those people, consider yourself lucky. And the rest of us, don't be afraid to go to your doctor and say, I need some support. I need some guidance. I mean, that's what they're there for. They're there to help you on your health care journey. If the story ended there and I could tell you that this journey has been difficult at times, I wouldn't be completely straightforward, because there has been some ugly. And I'm going to tell you, I was shocked. I thought everything was going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I might have some bumps in the road, but I didn't realize that things were going to get kind of ugly. I really didn't realize that there was another side to losing a significant amount of weight. The first thing that I would say that's ugly for me is I didn't realize that my body was going to change and my mind wouldn't change with my body. I thought I would lose weight, I would feel fabulous. And I didn't realize that when I would walk past a mirror, I would say to myself, is that me? I have this thing where I'm thinking I'm much bigger than I am. And I still wear clothes much bigger than I should. And that's because my mind has not caught up with the fact that I have lost over 80 pounds. That's a significant amount of weight. There are times when I look at myself in the mirror and I think, is that really me? I think I look smaller, but I don't know for sure. There are people who have noticed my weight loss and noticed the transformation. Well, I'm still seeing the bigger me. I'm still seeing the bigger person. I don't see what other people see. And I guess the ugly truth is, weight changes your body long before it changes your mind. Somebody could have told me that and I wouldn't have believed it, but I'm in fact experiencing that. I learned that losing weight didn't automatically erase how I saw myself for so many years. And that part of this journey requires work too. So let me tell you, the other ugly part of weight loss for me has been losing weight and still not loving my body, still not liking what I see. I'm going to tell you the loose skin of it all. I don't have a lot of loose skin yet, but when I get down to my weight loss goal or weight range, which is between 140 and 150, I'm telling you, I can see myself having a lot of hanging skin, especially in my belly area. Now, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to let that deter me, I don't think, from getting to my goal. I say I don't think because it's a scary thought. But my arms were already flabby. I don't love my arms, but losing weight has made them worse. There, I put up a picture of these flabby arms. I just want you to know that you can love your body. You can love the fact that you're losing weight. You could be appreciative, grateful, all those things, thankful. But you could still not like some things about your body. When you get to your goal weight or get close to your goal weight, that's not a guarantee you're going to love your body. You might actually find some things that you want to fix. And some people do, and some people just learn to live with where their body is. And I'm one of those people. Right now, I'm saying I'm going to live with those changes now. A girl has a right to change her mind. I think I'm just going to have to learn how to live with these arms and this belly. Now, who knows what's going to be going on with my thighs when I lose weight too. I'm excited for it to happen, but I'm also just a little bit nervous, I will admit. Now, I'm going to tell you, this part has been ugly for me, and that is the hair shedding of it all. The hair loss, hair shedding, whatever you want to call it. I'm somebody who loved my hair and still do. But I loved how thick it was. As I've gotten older, I think menopause played a role in that. So I'm not going to put it all on the weight loss. I have been a slow loser. So my hair shedding hasn't been as bad. But I think coupled with getting my hormones in check, I was just going through a period where my hair was shedding. So I'm going to show you exactly what I use. Right now, I have in some beautiful extensions in my hair. And I love a good extension. But you still have to have something for the extensions to hold on to, let's be honest. So taking care of your hair, even if it's in a protective style like braids, it's a must do. This is what I use. I'm going to start with the most expensive product to the least expensive product. Now, I know there are so many other things. I'm just telling you what I use. I also have a dermatologist, and if these things aren't working, then I'll look at some things that my dermatologist can prescribe. But these are over-the-counter things. Check with your dermatologist or a doctor before you use any supplements. I will say that. I think that's so important. But I use Nutrafol. But I'm going to be honest with you. You got to at least give it 6 months. You may not notice things earlier than 6 months. Everyone is different. So you might take it and you might notice something in a month or two. But for me, I didn't notice any changes and thickening up of my hair until 3 to 6 months. So if you're interested in Nutrafol, you could check out the description of this video. I used to see these all the time and I thought, I'm going to try these. And it's called Weem. They are gummies. And I don't really know if they worked. I only really tried the one bottle. The reason why I didn't try a second bottle is because I was already using other things. And I thought, how am I going to really know this is working? But people say this works. If you're trying it out, try this out and don't use anything else so you can really see if it's working. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so the next thing I will say, if you don't want to spend a bunch of money, but you want to see some results, possibly, I would try this hair, skin, and nails gummies by Nature's Bounty. Now, I'm going to tell you, I think these work. These stay in my rotation. A lot of people love these and say they work. They're very inexpensive. So I'm going to put the link to all these things in the description of the video. And if you want to try them, great. If not, great. But I'm just giving you some options. I get a lot of compliments on my hair, so thank you. Now I'm going to tell you another ugly thing about this medication for me is being on this highest dose and not being at my goal and feeling like I have nowhere else to go. Now, I have since learned that we have other things you could add to the medication to kind of supplement the medication to help with the weight loss. And now that I have my A1C steady, normal, right? It's not fluctuating up and down. It's pretty steady. So now I can really focus on my last 60 or 70 pounds that I need to lose. And it has been a fear of mine that I'm at this highest dose and what if I don't continue to lose? And right now I say to myself, which I said earlier, I'm going to be patient and consistent. And I'm not going to let everything I've done up to this point, all the great changes, all the great strides I've made and the transformation I had, I'm not going to let that discourage me and get me down. I'm just going to keep it moving. I'm going to stay patient and stay consistent. And I'm going to remember myself, what I tell you guys is it's progress over perfection. When I say that, that is so true. One of the things that I think could really detour you on this journey, if you're comparing yourself to what everybody else is doing. So if you're doing that, don't do that. That's something that could be ugly on this journey for you. That leads to depression, that leads to being discouraged, and that leads to regaining weight back, which is another fear that a lot of people have. Well, here's another ugly truth that I don't deal with as much, but I've heard so many people talk about this. And it is the fear of gaining the weight back. Now, if you've lost a significant amount of weight and you finally found something that works for you, once you get the weight off, you do have a fear of the weight coming back, especially if you're taking this medication and you're not sure if you can continue to take it, if you can continue to afford to take it, if your insurance will continue to cover it. So that is something that's a fear for many people. Every time I would stop losing weight or the scale wouldn't move, I caught myself thinking, oh, this medication stopped working. I had to learn that feeling hungry did not mean that medication had failed, that it's actually okay to be hungry taking this medication. And stronger appetite suppression doesn't always equal more weight loss. Those were two things I actually had to separate in my mind. And here's another ugly truth. The highest doses didn't magically solve everything. I think a lot of times we think that, and I thought that. Every time I moved up, I thought, this is going to be the dose. This is the dose for me. This dose is going to fix everything that wasn't working necessarily with the lower dose. And let me tell you, I learned that that is not true. For me, there really was no breakthrough dose. There was no dose where the weight just started magically falling off. And eventually I reached the highest dose. When I go to eat something, go in that refrigerator, there is no medicine telling me what to choose. I have to decide for myself what I'm going to eat. I have to be the one to decide to make a healthy choice. This is how I know the GLP-1 is powerful, but it is not a magic tool. You still have to put in the work. And here's another ugly truth for me. I am 88 pounds down and I'm still not done. I still have weight to lose. I still have goals. When you're losing weight, people are congratulating you. You get the confetti if you come to my live streams. Some of us even get to maintenance and we're loving it. But guess what? The work does not end at maintenance. It does not. And you know why? Because life continues and there is no magic number now that you're at maintenance that you're going to get to that goal and then you're going to stop doing everything. Your healthy habits will have to continue in order for you to be successful. It took me 2 years to understand this. If I could go back and if I could tell myself anything, I would tell her the medication is absolutely going to help you. But girl, it's not going to do everything. You're going to lose weight. You're just not going to lose weight as fast as everybody else. And that's okay. You're going to stall. Keep going. You're going to be hungry at times. Keep going. You are going to have cravings. Keep going. You might have food noise again. Keep going. You're going to question whether the medication is working. Guess what? Keep going. You're going to look at other people's transformations and wonder why you're not there. And guess what I'm going to say then? Stop comparing. Stop comparing and keep going. You're going to lose enough weight where people might not even recognize you at times or might have to do a double take. And you're going to get to that point in your journey where you're not even going to recognize yourself. And I'm going to say to you, and I would say to her, give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. You're going to reach the higher doses and think, now this is the dose. This is finally the answer. The weight's going to melt off. And you're going to realize that the dose was not the answer. The medication actually is not the answer. It was a tool. It was a powerful tool, a life-changing tool. But you still had to put in the work. You still had decisions to make. You still have to build that healthy lifestyle for yourself. And one of the most important things is, and I'm kind of going through that now, is you have to learn how to live with this medical treatment, even when the weight loss is not exciting, when it's just kind of boring. You're just living your life every day. If somebody asked me today, how did you lose 88 pounds? My answer would not be, I just ate less. My answer would not be, I tracked my calories. My answer would not be, I exercised more. My answer would not even be, I just took a GLP-1. My answer would be, I finally had a treatment that helped me with something I struggled with all my life. Was I perfect? No. I stayed with the process long enough for those small changes to become big changes. Did I always eat perfectly? No. Did I exercise every time I said I was going to? Absolutely not. Did I get frustrated at times? Yes. Did I want the weight to come off faster? Yes. Did I compare myself? Yes. But let me tell you what I did not do. And if you've been watching my videos, you know I did not quit. As a matter of fact, I refused to quit. And I'm going to tell you, that is the reason why I'm sitting here making this video today, 88 pounds lighter than I was when I started. So when you see pictures of me with the before and after, I want you to really understand what you're looking at. You're not looking at 88 pounds of perfection. You're looking at 88 pounds of persistence. You're looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there will probably be more lessons on this journey because I am not at the finish line yet. And I don't even know that there is a finish line. So I will say I'm not at my goal. I'm still downsizing. I'm still working on me. Guess what? I'm still choosing me. So Diva or Devo, if your journey is taking longer than you thought, if the scale is not moving as quickly as you want, if you've hit a stall, or if you're questioning whether your GLP-1 is even working, I need you to remember something. Slow progress is still progress. Don't let someone else's 9-month transformation make you quit your 2-year plus transformation. Don't do it. There's only one you, and your journey deserves a chance. So with that said, I want to thank you for watching. Hype this video. Hype the video so it can reach other GLP-1 users. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I go live or upload a video. I am live on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I would love to see you there. Check out my links in the description of this video. I have some great tools and resources that can help you on your GLP-1 journey. And most importantly, I want you to take great care of yourself. And remember, like I said earlier, slow and steady, normal and steady wins the race. Just don't quit.